What? Oh, there we go. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time you're watching this in the future. If you're not watching it now, because nobody's watching now, so that's fine. Nelson's watching now. Thank you, Nelson. You don't have a choice. You're bound by your contract to actually watch it. Oh, somebody's joined. I guess that's you, one person. Yeah. Thanks for joining us for our latest Sylvia Findings live stream event, whatever, how to, connection, something. Shows are starting up again this year, looks like. You know, there's quite a few that are actually finding places to do it, and, you know, dates are becoming firm. So check the website, make sure you, you know, see if we're at a show near you. We've got a couple that are coming up in March, I think. I don't remember what they are off the top of my head. Calgary, I know, is one. Or is that
Victoria?
April? Oh, Victoria, yeah.
Alberni.
Yeah. Port Alberni. Yeah, so, you know, things are happening, getting out there. So we're probably not going to be doing these live stream events every week during especially during the busy times when I think we'll probably do them every other week or something. Or depending, you know, if I come up with something that I think is brilliant, which is not rare, but kind of unusual. But think, well, we'll put it out there. We'll do a thing. If you know there's anything, and I know there's only whatever 2 people watching right now, but if you're watching this after the fact on YouTube or whatever, if there's anything, you know, you're interested in learning, finding out about, because I think we're pretty much done with all the cataloging of all the products, which is what we've been doing for the past 80 something episodes. We did a couple of how-tos here and there. We did a cool one last week, soldering jump rings to the end of a chain, which I think is super important skill to know, the thing to practice. And today we're going to do another kind of a how-to demo. I think, you know, we have this whole line of, I should have pulled them out, but I did not. We have this whole line of bezel cup rings and pendants in rounds and ovals and things, and you know, normally you would just put a, you know, cabochon in there and, you know, push the bezel wall closed, and that's it. But lately I've noticed, you know, just in the past couple of years, I want to say a resurgence, because it's been, the concept has been around for a long time, but I feel like a lot of people are starting to do it now, is what they call commemoration jewelry, commemorative jewelry, whatever, you know. I mean, I'm sure you've seen ads or on Facebook or whatever for, send me a vial of your breast milk and I'll turn it into an heirloom, you know, kind of thing. And basically what they're doing is they'll take that breast milk or a lock of hair from your dog, or ashes from your grandmother or whatever, and they'll mix it with resin and cast it into a little cabochon, you know, using a little mold like this. I got this on Amazon for like $10 or something. Oh no, I think it was Etsy. No, Amazon. Well, whatever. You could find them. And you can cast your own little cabochons with them, right? Here's one, the cute one I cast, right? And they make these little cabs with this 2-part resin epoxy, right? Which is, golly, that's a whole other world when you get into that, you know, kind of stuff. If you go on YouTube and you put epoxy resin in the search bar, you're gonna see like 1,000 different things that people do with resin, and it's just so, most of it is so cool. Because it dries pretty hard, and if you don't put anything else in it, it dries real clear, and it's you know, super cool. If you didn't see the social media posts with the little demo thing when I had a sample. Let me just, I'm going to hold this up to the camera. See, can you see that? Right. This is one of those little bezel cups, right? And every time somebody sees, I don't know if you can see that, if that's focusing on that or not. Focus. No. Put it right in front of my face. There we go. Anyway, people look at this and they think, oh, is that little bits of gold in there? And that's kind of what I meant it to look like, but it's not. It's just little pieces of sterling silver wire, and then I mix some of that resin with a pigment. This is a pigment I use, gold and yellow. So with a little bit of pigment in there, you can, you know, change the effect, change the colors. Obviously, there's been lots of different pigments that you can use. This one that's like a gold stone, you know, effect. Here's like a blue gold stone thing. It's a little bit of a learning curve figuring out how the pigment will behave in the resin. So I mean, you can do all kinds of weird things with it. I think that's kind of a cool one. Looks like, I don't know, but whatever. Those are the ones I just made with that little silicone mold. But you can take those bezel things, the bezel cups, the bezel, you know, thing, and put something in it. You can cut out a little picture of your, you know, baby, happy baby or whatever you want. Glue it down onto the bottom of that, fill that with resin, slightly overfill it so that surface tension pulls the surface into like a little dome. And then when it cures, you got this beautiful little, you know, locket of a happy baby. And the dome on the thing will actually kind of magnify the picture underneath a little bit to give it a little bit of a little more depth, which is very cool. Or you could put, I know I've seen tons of things with like little flowers, right, inside. I've actually seen them with locks of hair, which I kind of thought was a little creepy, but, you know, whatever. I don't judge. Whatever works. So I'm just, I thought I would just demo one for you here. And that's what we're going to do. Couldn't decide. I had it narrowed down to what pigment I'm going to use. There's a lovely orange, this beautiful purple. Ugh, gorgeous. But we had it narrowed down to either the rose gold or the blue. Actually, Nelson wanted another kind of Tiffany blue. But I nixed that because to me it looks more green than blue. I'm going to decide right now. I'll do the rose gold. Okay. Why not, right? I'm probably going to change my mind as I'm mixing it. But these pigments, you can get all kinds of different pigments. These are liquid ones, liquid pigments, but you can get pigments that are like powders, you know. You can get crushed opal, crushed turquoise, you know, to mix in with this stuff to get all kinds of really cool, you know, gemstone effects. And that's what you're going to see a lot of in those, you know, those, if you're doing the breast milk jewelry, you can just mix it with the dehydrated breast milk and you'll end up with like a white, you know, creamy colored, kind of gives you the willies. But people, and it's an heirloom, right? It's actually, you know, with your breast milk. So, you know, hey, whatever works. Again, I don't judge. But you can also ask them to add some pigment to that and put some, you know, wacky colors and things in there, which I think would be, you know, more cool. But anyway, let's turn this around and have a look at the what we're doing. So here is, can I make this lower? I cannot. I wonder if I turn this around and do this. Can I do that? No. Okay, this doesn't, let me just move this. So I did the, you know, the same kind of thing as this. Right, this is the one I just, took some chunks of sterling silver, like when you clean the ends off the end of a piece of wire or something, or cut little shards. I just, I have a ton of those things and I never throw them away for some reason. I always think, I don't know, maybe I'll cast with them one day. But I just thought, well, let me just use them in that. So I did the same kind of thing, with a little, sort of extra twist. I cut a couple of, I made some jump rings, but just by pulling wire around a little dowel and then cut, sections of it, put those up against the side to give it some definition, and then filled in between those areas with the, with the resin. And okay, so these resins come with a resin and a hardener, right? There's two parts. Obviously, you just follow the directions that come with the one that you bought, but this one is 1-to-1, so it's 1 part of resin and 1 part hardener. And I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna obviously make way more than I need. Here's the resin. Come on. I can't see the lights there. Maybe just a hair more. That looks about right. So that's, according to the cup, that's, 5 milliliters of resin. And I'll put 5 milliliters of hardener in there. Yes. And that's it. And then you just have to stir it. Okay, I am gonna go with the oh my gosh. I haven't used that one yet. So I just need to cut the tip of that off. And let's put I'll put 5. Maybe I'll put 6, just for laughs. 6 drops of that. And then we're just going to mix this up. You're supposed to mix this for 2 to 3 minutes. Blech, I don't like the color of that at all. Gross. I mean, I see the gold in there. I'm not happy with that pink color, though. Okay, whatever. We're committed now.
Too late.
It's too late. You know what? Let's add a bit of... No. Pink and yellow together is not good. Right, I'll end up with something orange, right?
Okay.
I can't remember my color wheel from grade school. I should know this. So as you're mixing this, obviously, there's going to be, you're going to introduce a lot of bubbles to that, and that's fine. Mostly the bubbles will come out when you pour it. This is going to be a little, really super tiny pour because there's only, a little bit of space there. So I'm not actually even going to use, I might just use the stick to sort of drizzle it in there. Or I have these little plastic pipettes. Maybe I'll use that. I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go. I'm supposed to stir this for 2 minutes. Just to make sure it's completely mixed, the resin and the hardener. Stirring. Okay, we're over 2 minutes. Boy, there's a lot of bubbles in that. Let's see if we can get this to... let me just put this over here. Just in case. What's the best way to get that? I don't want to pour that in there, but let's just do this. Oh, no. I got some resin on the... That's it. So that, I don't know if you can see that. That's like a really, really overfilled... Whoops. Telling me to rotate my phone. You can't turn the phone while you're recording. I'll do what I want. So, any bubbles that are left in there, you can just use a little flame, a little torch to... Boink. That will pull all the bubbles out. If you can see that. And that's it. I love how there's so much surface tension in this stuff that you can super overfill it. I probably got as much resin outside the bezel cup as there is inside. There's a little bit on the bale that spilled at the beginning that I can just clean off after. But now we just have to wait. It'll probably be dry to the touch in, I don't know, an hour or so. But then it takes like a whole day to cure, at least a day. What does it says on the bottle? 24 to 48 hours to cure before demolding or whatever. Oh, look, there's all these. Oh, I never even noticed that there's wonderful directions here. Oh, they wanted me to stir for 3 to 5 minutes. Oh, no. Disaster. No, using the torch is not the only way to get rid of bubbles. You can also get rid of bubbles. There's another spray chemical that you can buy that you spray that on there. It kind of like I don't know. It's like a chemical that makes the surface super liquid for like a fraction of a second, and that's enough to pull the things out. Or you know, if you wanted to, and you want it to be really super fancy schmancy, after you had mixed the resin, but before you're going to use it, because you can play with this for you know, probably half an hour or so before it gets too dry to thing. What about just using a stick? You mean like trying to get a stick to poke them and pull them out? Situational, but I guess that could work. I'm just trying to think of all the disaster. I see some froth happening on the top of that. Let's see if I can get that out with a torch. Yep, see those bubbles just popped right out. Very cool. I don't think so. I don't think using a stick is feasible for that. Like a little toothpick or something, because every time you put something in there, it's gonna, you know, displace some of that material, and you might end up getting too much resin in there, and it'll end up overflowing. Which, I mean, this is so close. I'm actually surprised this didn't overflow. I got way too much in there than I wanted to. But I think it's gonna look cool when it's completely dry. And then, right? A little disappointed in the color. That doesn't really look.
Should have gone for the Tiffany.
I should. Yes, Nelson is ragging me now. I should have gone for the Tiffany blue. Doesn't really look like rose gold to me, but I don't know. We'll see when it dries. I was gonna say the other thing that you can do is once you've done mixing this, you know, it's you know, you've got a good, you know, 30-40 minute work time on this. So if you take this and you put this in a vacuum pot, a vacuum dome or something like you would use for casting or whatever, that will vacuum out all of the bubbles, and then you won't have any bubbles when you pour it in. But right, kind of simple. So I think, like, imagine something like that with a bunch of different colors in one of these. You know, we've got these that are, I think, ostensibly designed for like intarsia, if you're cutting little stones to put in those little cloisons. But you know, why not different colors of enamel? I think that would look awesome, right? You wouldn't have to do anything like crazy, like put anything behind it, you know. But or, you know, we've got a whole bunch of, thinking like off the top of my head, we've got like 8 or 10 different settings that are like this, you know. And if you seal the back with some electrical tape or some kind of smooth tape, not a masking tape because it's awfully textured, but you know, something smooth, and seal the back with that, and then, you know, fill that from the front, and then after it cured, just peel the tape off. I think that would be so cool, right? Instead of just having a boring old cap in there with that that pattern, which is still, you know, cool. I guess I say boring. I shouldn't say boring. It's cool, but not as cool as it would be as if it were color. Boing. Yeah. Let's see, kind of bunch of those things. Got like dolphins and bears and maple leaves. And that dragonfly, which I just love it. Love it. I might actually just get one of those to try it out. Once I have more experience. Okay, let me try to get this back up. Oh, it says that I can't rotate my phone. Undo what I want. So, little anticlimactic, but that's it. Just a quick little tip, something that you can do, something with fun. It's just, you know, super easy. You can get these resins. I think I got this on, I just bought this on Amazon for like, I feel like this resins, the 8-ounce bottles were only like 19 or 20 bucks. It wasn't that expensive, but you can get the, you know, the big gallons of them for like, you know, $100 or so. And I just pulled that price off the top of my head, so don't hold me to that. And as far as the pigments go, I mean, you can get all kinds of wacky things. You can get glow-in-the-dark powders that you can add and mix in that are very cool. On top of doing jewelry, I'm currently building a bass guitar. I've done a couple of them just as a hobby. And the if you've ever noticed, if you've ever looked at a guitar or thing, you know, on the top of the neck where the on the fretboard, there's always little dots, little fret markers. I was going to do those dots on the bass I'm working on right now using a glow-in-the-dark pigment and resin. I think that would be very cool. Maybe Mark can ask anyone watching to share some of their resin work. Oh yeah, good idea. If you have any resin work that you've done using one of our, you know, pieces or not, just on your own thing, yeah, please share them either in the Facebook group here thing, or yeah, I guess on Facebook here would be the only thing, or just tag us in whatever your social media that you posted at. I'd love to see it. You know, I am like no resin expert by any stretch of the imagination. You know, I've done it like literally, I just picked it up just as a hobby, not a hobby, just as something to do this year, you know, because, you know, pandemic, you gotta always keep doing new things, keep trying new things, and I just saw so many cool, you know, things using the resin. I thought, oh, I gotta try that. And I did. I made some cabs, so I thought that was fun, making the cabs. I did a couple things with this. I did, you know, a couple things, you know, carving shapes into a piece of wood and then filling it with resin just to see what it looked like, and, sanding it down. It looks very cool. You'll see, if you look at resin on YouTube, you'll see people making giant tables, right, with 2 parts of it are wood, and there's like a river of resin flowing in between in the middle. They do all kinds of weird stuff, cool stuff with it. Or they'll take like a really like a burl. I don't know if you're familiar with that. The thing of burl is like it's like a big knotty knob of wood that grows, so that when you cut it, you get all these weird, cool effects. And sometimes they're very uneven. Sometimes they're very they have big holes in them. They have big gaps in them. And people will take a big bucket, put the burl inside, fill it with resin, with colored resin, so that the resin pours into all the gaps. And then they'll do like wood turning or whatever, carving with that stuff. I mean, there's so many things you can do with it. But the commemorative jewelry thing, I think, is taking off a lot. Oh, I had a conversation with my son recently about this, and he's saying that it's so popular now because so many people are dying from COVID. Wow. Way to go. real, yeah. He's a happy dude, otherwise. Anyway, I'm just stalling now. I have nothing else. I'm done. So, thanks for joining us this week for a little quick little how-to with resin and the commemorative jewelry things. And if you're interested in this, in all the items that we have that you can do this with, I didn't show you a thing, but we have rings. We have those pendants and rounds and ovals, and rings and rounds and ovals, and people are already using them quite a bit, sort of thing. But obviously, I would like to see people buy more of them, because that's what we're here. Let's face it. It's very cool to show you little demos and things and stuff, but in the end, we're trying to sell you stuff. So, just being honest. I will see you next week, I think. I don't even know what I'm going to do next week. I have to come up with something. If you have any ideas, let me know. Drop me a line, mark@canadafindings.com, or you can contact us through the website or through here or whatever. In the meantime, take care of yourself, take care of the planet, take care of your mental health, and we will see you next week, Wednesday, 10:30 Pacific, and extrapolated out to whatever other time you are in the world, or later on, I guess, when it gets posted to YouTube, which is where most people watch it. I don't think we've ever had more than 3 or 4 people watching during the live stream, and that's okay. It's for posterity, right? I want to feel like I can say anything because there's nobody on, but then I know that a lot of other people are going to be watching later, so I try to behave. I do well most of the day. I think I'll post the once this is cured, and I think I'll take a couple of nice little pictures, and we'll post those on the social media pages, because that's what you do. Right, again, stalling. Sorry. Go, do whatever you think. Life is calling you. We will see you next week. Alrighty, bye-bye. Finish. I can press this button. Come on!